Hello, everybody, and how are you? Good evening, everybody. Let me see. We have quite a number of visitors today from Finma University of Pangasinan. Say hello naman. Are you like architecture students or ano? Pina-join ba kayo ng professor nyo? Kamusta naman kayo dyan sa Urdaneta, Pangasinan? Hello sa lahat sa inyo. Hello, hello. Ang dami ninyo from ano. And I'm so grateful to meet new friends like you here. So let me ask you one question. What do you want to learn tonight? Ba't kayo napunta dito sa aking Facebook Live? So I can tailor fit a good discussion for you. Hello, hello, Emeline Regalo. Are you all like students of a certain class? Feel free to go to the chat box and I will read your feedback. All right, so tonight it's our usual, while you're at UP College, FINMA, anong course kayo? So tonight it's another session of how to hurdle through property challenges brought about by the pandemic. Marami kasi nagre-request sa atin na, Sir Carl, please help us navigate through this pandemic. We don't know how to go about it, na-affect yung income namin, na-affect yung property. That's why this is my third session already about this. And ang dami nagre-reach out na, hello, Rungaw, Rec, na, Sir Carl, na-miss naman yung last time, baka we can consult with you. Alright, so yep. So I wanna hear from BS Accountancy, Rents. Oh, okay. Ba't kayo napunta dito sa aking real estate course? Is this part of your requirement? Or did your teacher want you to learn something? Is your teacher here also? If your teacher is here, hello po, Professor. Salamat po at you invited all your students here. Mga galing Pangasinan, yes. All right, so I'm monitoring the chat box. So let's start. All right, ano ba mga usual concern natin right now? You know, if there's anybody who wants to comment their concern, I will keep you anonymous. Okay lang naman para we can start the ball rolling. Usually, the question I get from most of the people is, Sir Carl, wait lang, I'm trying to read the messages. Sir Carl, my property is vacant. What should I do? Ayan. So if your property is vacant right now, natin may nag-rent, no? Number one, yes, it's worrisome. Totoo naman, it's worrisome. But it's the reality of it. It's the real effect of the pandemic. Mainly, I just want to let you understand. Hello, the resistance trader. I just want to let you understand why this is happening para you have a better understanding. Diba? Yung mga iba sinasabi niya na, hala, paano na, Sir Carl? Sabi nung agent ko, yung rent yung magbabayad ng monthly amortization ko. Now, nahihirapan ako. Kasi double whammy. Yung income ko na-affect and now I have this monthly payment to pay. Well, the right answer there is yes. That is the real situation right now. Pag vacant ang unit mo, it's gonna be really difficult at this point. But I guess wala na tayong magagawa dyan. What you can do is open your eyes kung meron bang opportunity out there for your unit. So there are many kinds of units in the market. There are like condominiums targeted to the expat family. There is the university market para sa mga estudyante. There are the hospital market para sa mga malapit sa hospital. There are the BPO worker market, malapit kayo sa mga call center, ganun. So different market. So I want you to study itong market ninyo. Are they still active? Kasi I'm sure kung they're active, meron na ngailangan din ng tirahan, 'di ba? So, yes, Rungaw, I want to learn about flipping. Fantastic. We'll talk about that in a while. So, first is identify your market segment and how are they doing. Ito, kwento ko lang sa inyo, no? Na there was a... Hang on na, let me check lang. I need to send another... I need to send something lang to my team. Okay, wait lang. I need to send this 00. Okay. So dahil kwento ko lang sa inyo na there's a friend of mine na meron siyang parang hotel, parang Airbnb type of hotel na short-term stay. So before the pandemic, the hotel was doing very well. But nung nag-pandemic na, syempre affected yung mga nagsistay. So ang ginawa niya, syempre the tourism is down. What they did was they pivoted. They turned their hotel into a quarantine facility. What does it mean, quarantine facility? It means na if you are in a place na masikip yung bahay mo, and then wala kang extra room, kumbaga wala ka talagang extra place to stay, where do you go? You go to a quarantine facility. So biglang nagkaroon ng demand for that facility, no? So that's how a pivot looks like. Hello, hello. Yes, hello. Okay, watching from Qatar. Yes, yes, I will share with you anything about what your boss wants to learn. Just type away in the comment box. Hello, Jimlyn. Please feel free, Jimlyn, to type whatever questions you have para maiba naman yung discussion. All right, so I was sharing about pivot. Kunwari, yung mga dating kung yung apartment mo is catering to a student market, affected talaga ngayon kasi walang pasok. So you might need to pivot to, let's say, a frontliner market. Maybe may hospital nearby because meron talagang market ngayon na maybe ayaw na nila umuwi kasi mahirap. So they want to stay in a place na nearby. So that's what you call the pivot, no? So if you have a unit na untenanted right now, analyze your market, di ba? Saan ba meron opportunity pa rin? Don't give up. Ang wag na wag mong gagawin is you just say, okay, it's done. Wala na. Vacant na. Should I sell my unit? That's another question. Should I sell my unit? I think the thought will always be there. Kasi nga walang tao sa unit mo, gusto mo na ngayon i-unload, di ba? Para wala ka ng burden. The right answer there is yes, definitely. If you are not at peace with it, if you are not happy, pwede mo na i-unload. But yun nga rin, wala naman bibili right now, di ba? Kasi syempre, marami sa mga tao are also trying to hold on to their cash. So, it's not gonna be easy also to sell. But, here's my advice. You can always try. I've heard of also of some stories of people na they were able to sell their property during this time to a buyer na matagal nang naghahanap bumili. But since ngayon pandemic, mas mura yung price, 'di ba? Okay lang pag-exit. Now, the next question is, so yung mga from Pangasinan, I would love to hear some of your comments. Ano bang gusto niyo matutunan? Why are you here? 'Di ba? Should I sell palugi? Yan. So that's another question, ano? Here's my advice to you guys. Should you sell palugi? There are 3 types of exit. Ang tawag natin dyan, exit plan. How do you exit? Normally, you exit with a profit. Okay yan, di ba? If you can exit with a profit, why not? Number 2 is you exit break even. If you're in a situation right now na sobrang stress ka na, ayaw mo na yung burden, hirap na hirap ka na, you want to move on, yes, you can sell at break even. But kung talagang you're in a situation where in no choice but you need to sell palugi, then my advice is okay lang. Okay? So okay lang na mag-sell ng palugi. You know, pasensya na kayo if nagugulat kayo sa sagot ko, but that's the real answer to every investment. If your investment is not performing according to what you want and you're not at peace, then you can cut your loss and sell that investment. Hindi ko lang ma-assure kung may bibili at this point because nga, you know, people are quite safe and conservative, but you should at least try. All right? How do you sell your unit? How to sell? Use social media. Kunwari, you have a property that you want to dispose, you go to social media. Facebook is so far the best right now, and there's the Facebook Marketplace. So punta ka lang sa Facebook, sa Marketplace, and then i-post mo na, I'm the owner of a blank blank condo unit. This condo is located here. This is the amount. I want to sell it lang for this price. It's a good deal for you, buyer. I have a bank loan na amounting to ganon. If you're interested, message me. Ganun lang. So you have to advertise. Tell the world that you are selling. Diba? What you don't want to do is you want to sell, pero hindi mo naman pala pinaalam sa world. So tinago mo lang to yourself. Yes. Hello, hello. Nakakatuwa yung mga tiga University of Pangasinan. I'm seeing you all here. But what do you want to learn? So I can tailor fit. Baka naman meron isang tiga University of Pangasinan dyan na will message. You're all from accounting, no? Yes. Hello, hello. Hello. Yeah. So yun lang. That's how you exit your property in case it's becoming a burden na to you. So I want to answer one question in the comment box. I want to learn about flipping properties. All right. So, kanina our concern is if you're stuck with a rental property, anong dapat mong gawin? Diba? The worst thing that you can do is do nothing, and the best thing you can do is you do something about it until a result comes out of it. Diba? So, if you want, this is a different question naman. Flipping properties. All right. Flipping means sa mga newbie dito is bibilin mo and then you sell it at a profit. Diba? So, kunwari, bumili ka ng something ngayon. Binenta mo you made 1 million, 500,000. You do it again. You made 500,000, 1 million. Then you repeat it for the next 10 years of your life. Then, yung total money mo, total financial position, mabilis nag-accelerate. Why? Because you are working in your work, in your job. That's your steady source of income. Then on the side, nag-flip ka ng property. So, parang nagdo-double income ka over the next 10 years of your life. So, what to consider if you are flipping properties? Let me type that down. Okay, flipping property. Number one, you make money when you buy. Right. What am I saying? The real opportunity of flipping properties is really when you buy. Meaning, did you buy it at a good price? Did you buy it at the low price na meron pang potential umakyat? So the buying is the number one. So right now, maraming opportunities that you can buy low, that you can buy at a lower price. Kasi mga tao ngayon, they are more, there are people who are worrying and they want to liquidate. That's why there's an opportunity right now to buy low. Next aspect that you need to consider, property has to have a target market. So if you're buying a property na, kunwari, you're making a bet. So that's the right word. You're making a bet na after 2 years, 1 year, it's gonna be a bounce back na. Tapos na yung pandemic, and the market is gonna come really strong. That's your bet. So there has to be a consumer, meaning dapat may customer yung property na binibili mo. So if you're buying it now to sell, you have to put it in your mind, who is my target buyer? Who is my target buyer? Diba? There are many properties. Like for example, we are quite active in the New Valley area. When we buy a property in New Valley, next time we're gonna sell it, the market is very clear. The market is, number one, people who are young, they are high in income, maybe double income. They're still young. 10 years ago, 5 years ago, they don't have money yet, 5 years ago. But maybe after 3 years, they will have money to buy. They will be my customer. Diba? And you make an analysis na, will it still be a good price after 3 years pag binenta ko ng ganung price? And if you have experience, you would say na, oo, kaya pa ng market yung ganung price. Mura pa rin siya. It's still reasonable. Kasi binili ko ng mura eh. Diba? So yung number one, you make money when you buy. So that's flipping properties, no? Oh, by the way, I just want to advertise a little bit, no, before I move along. I just want to share with you that I have a 10-week masterclass, the first Philippines real estate masterclass. Ito you so for 1 hour per week every Saturday, we're gonna talk about many things about property. We're gonna talk about the BRRR method, meaning one session we will be talking about mindset. The next Saturday we're going to be talking about how to buy, what is a framework of buying. The next session we're going to talk about how to renovate. The next session we're going to talk about how to rent it out, what are the things to consider. So one whole session about buying, one whole session about renting, one whole session about renovating, one whole session about flipping, one whole Saturday um, about build and sell, one whole Saturday about how to exit, one whole Saturday about financing through the bank, and then eventually the last 10 session is graduation. So it's called Creating Wealth Through Property. It's a 10-week workshop. And for those listening here, if you're watching from the live or from the recording, I encourage you, if you want to really be comfortable with your real estate journey, I encourage you to join me in this 10-week masterclass. Bakit siya 10 weeks? Kasi ayaw ko siyang gawin overload in 2 days. Pwede naman siya gawin in 2 days, 2 whole days. But I personally kasi I like to learn slowly. Parang one topic per week, then digest, and next week ulit. And then this is recorded pala. I want it recorded so that yung mga busy dyan na hindi available, you won't miss it. You can listen to it, you can revisit it, you can take notes and review. Ganun. So it's recorded. It's in partnership with ESME. It's an online platform for education. So just go to bit.ly/all caps CDY workshop. Nandun yung sign up for the 10-week workshop. And ano pa ba? And how much is this workshop? Let me check. If you ask me, I think this workshop is easily worth 90,000, 25,000. Sobrang may ma-develop ka lang na isang rental business that will give you 25,000 a month. Bawi na yung property. Bawi na yung tuition. If you're able to do a flip, and then you made 1 million, then this whole 10-week workshop lesson is bawi na. So yun lang. So just go to CDY workshop and use the code CDYESME for a discounted price. All right, so let's go back to the ano. What is your personal outlook of forecast regarding the condominium market in Metro Manila? Short term, medium, long term. Okay. This is a very good question. There are some areas, okay, I want to guide you very carefully. The condo market is, dalawa yung market na yan eh. One is if you are an end user. If you are an end user, then, hello Rina, hello. If you're an end user, no issue. No issue. Kasi, now is the best time for you to enter kasi mas magaang. And the plethora of choices ng condominium are there. The DMCI condominiums, the Avida, is very good for starters. I like it. For the expats, the Alveo and the Ayala are pretty good for the expats. But if you're an end user, no worries. Now is the best time for you. You have a lot of choices. You can come in, and the condos right now are getting better and better. Maraming condos na may amenities, may gym. So imagine mo, if you are renting right now, I encourage you to study about loaning money from the bank, which we will talk about in the 10-week session. The loaning money from the bank, sabi ng iba, Sir Carl, natatakot ako kasi may interest yan. Ayoko ng interest. But I tell you, if you borrow from the bank and you keep it for 10 years, after 10 years of paying interest, sa'yo na yung property. But if you rent, after 10 years, wala ka pa rin property. lahat ng pera parang natapon. You see the change in point of view? So I want you guys to learn more about borrowing from the bank. Hindi biro to. It's not for everybody. There has to be an education, which we will talk about in one whole session in the workshop. One whole Saturday, all about borrowing from the bank. So condo, if you're an end user, no problem. In fact, I love the condos right now as an end user. I have friends who are staying there. They get gym, meron silang swimming pool. You know, if you're kung hindi ka naman kaya yayamanin, wala kang swimming pool in your house. Maybe you live in a small apartment, but moving to a condo will allow you these facilities, these benefits. Maliit man yung unit mo, pero marami kang extra space paglabas. Diba? So that's from an end user. If you're an investor, then here's the challenge. No? Because yun nga, the market is not moving as much right now. Diba? Like for example, our condo is also affected. Later on pala, at the end of this show, I'm gonna play a video. Mayroon akong treat for you guys. This is how I converted a old dilapidated condo into a parang pods for office worker. But I want to share with you also, my pods right now is also negatively affected. We do not have tenant right now because of our pods. No? Kasi our office pods is catering to the office market. So unti-unti, nagsabi yung isang tenant ko na, "Oy, Sir Carl, hindi na yata kami required pumasok sa office. Looks like hindi ko na ma-renew yung lease. Ganun din sa iba. So the office market is pretty affected. So what do you do if your condo is affected? So wala talaga. You really have to hang in there. That's number one, hang in there. Make sure your product is rent-worthy. So what am I saying, guys? I'm saying na lumiit yung market, but I'm not saying the market is gone. Maybe kumonte, but meron pa rin. So just like what Jet is saying, you have to advertise your property. Okay, 3 P's. The product has to be good. Diba? No doubt yan. The product has to be good. Number 2, the product. Na product meaning maganda yung loob, malinis, mabango, pleasant gamitin, maganda yung mga bedsheet, diba? Don't lease out a unit na not good, na ikaw mismo you don't want to stay in. Diba? So the product has to be good. Number 1. The 2, the price. The price has to be reasonable. Alam mo naman tayo mga Filipinos, we want value for money. So don't price your property too high. Number 3 is the process. Product, price, and the process. The process means, how do you advertise your property in Facebook? How do you tell the world that it's available? How do you take pictures of the property? How do you engage your inquiry? Are you easy to deal with? Or are you masungit na landlord? Of course, let's face it. If I was a tenant and you're a masungit na landlord, I will take my business elsewhere. So you have to be a good landlord also. So you have yung process, di ba? Yes. Thank you, Jet. That Facebook is really a good platform. Yes, I agree with you. It has exposure, di ba? So, in the short term, Jet, I think the market is smaller. Depending on your location. Pwedeng may location ka na kunyari malapit sa hospital and the nurses are still renting, no problem. If your market is the university, then you'll have to wait for this university to come back on. Diba? If your market for your condominium is tourism, ganun din, affected din siya kasi wala nga talagang movement. So, I'm just teaching you guys how to real talk na talagang the market is affected. There's really no movement. But don't give up. Keep on advertising, keep on spreading the word. I think the squeaky wheel gets the attention. The squeaky wheel gets the attention. Kung madalas mong ina-advertise about your unit in Facebook, lagi siyang nag-a-appear, I think makahanap ka. Vis-a-vis a person who's just quiet and does not advertise yung unit niya. Moving on. I saw some questions. How do I know that my property for rent is worth keeping? May percentage po ba from my rental income that you will consider? Okay. Very good question, no, Jimlyn. How much rent is worth? Yun yung ultimate question, di ba? And there are two types of method to answer that. I'm gonna share with you. The most common way is, I want a 10% return. I want a 3% return. Di ba? I mean, a 10% return and 8% return. Kasi ang bank right now is giving 3% return. So, what if it's 3% return? How would you process it? Okay, you see my question, my statement is, I'm not telling you the answer, but I'm telling you how to process it. No? Let's say, of course, if it's 10%, keep it. Diba? Kasi ang ganda ng returns niya. Diba? If the bank is giving you 3, and your property is giving you 3, will you keep the property? That's the challenging question. Diba? Ako personally, if my goal is to build up a lot of rental properties, para they are like the goose that lays me the golden egg, I will keep it. Kasi yun naman yung purpose why we bought the condo, the rental property. Para pag pinarent ko, as I go to my office, 9 to 5, I make this amount of money, 100,000. But I have 5 rental properties, giving me 20, 30,000 times 5, another 100. So I have my active income giving me 100. I have my passive income giving me 100. So, pag binibenta mo yung condos mo or yung rental property, syempre nawawala ka ng passive income, di ba? And of course, you can put it in the bank, di ba? The problem with the bank is not a financial problem. The problem with the bank is sometimes personal. Sometimes personal, meaning ibang-iba yung galaw ng isang tao if we have not much money in the bank, but you have a lot of properties. Diba? Parang, hala, walang laman yung bangko ko. I have to work hard, I have to work hard, I have to work hard. But if your bank has, let's say, 10 million, some will say 20 million, some will say 5 million, 1 million, magiging tamad kaya tayo if you have that amount of money in your bank, depending on your thermostat. There are people na may 1 million sa bangko, tamad na magtrabaho. So nakita mo what I just mentioned, it's not only about the returns. It's about the psychological effect it has on you. So kunyari, for example, for me, I'm a lazy person. Pag nakikita kong meron na akong ganun million in the bank, parang ayoko nang magtrabaho, ayoko nang gumising ng maaga bukas, I'm okay na. Pero if I don't have a lot of money in the bank, pero marami akong hinughulog-hulugan na properties, meron akong binabayaran na installment na for an asset, sumisipag ako. Diba? So there's a lot of factors. Plus, so the number one factor is not financial, diba? Is yung personal and mental. Number 2 is, if both are earning 3%, pero yung property may capital appreciation. Diba? Yung property, after a while, pwede mo pamana sa anak mo, magagamit niya. So that's a different question. Kasi yung money in the bank, after 10 years, 20 years, baka iba na yung value. Diba? Pero yung property, may possibility, if it's a right property, it's catching up with the value. Diba? Let me share with you, you know, there's this property before in New Valley where we're very active. House and lot. Ang value today na isang house and lot is 8 million. House and lot, 8 million. Did you know that 2007, for 1.85 million, makakabili ka ng isang house and lot na ngayon is worth 8 million. Or maybe 7 million. So 7 million today, nung 07, mabibili mo siya ng 1.85 million only. Wow, di ba? Sana all, di wow. Di ba? So what am I saying? There's that capital appreciation na minsan hindi mo rin makita. So personally, Jimlyn, we wanna keep just an enough liquidity in the bank for emergency. You want that in place. You want that liquidity. But anything in excess, it will be nice to put it where it will work hard for you. But the challenge dyan is maraming pwede paglagyan yan. Yung where na yan. Diba? It can be a business, it can be a business, it can be cryptocurrency, it can be stock market. Marami. Kaya we have to be educated. I'm just gonna answer one question and I'm gonna show you the video now, okay? I'm gonna give you a commercial break and show you a video. Okay. Cheesy. Yes, that's true na sumisipag pag madaming babayarin na monthly amortization sa property investment. So, in my 10-week workshop, pag-uusapan natin lahat to slowly. We're gonna talk about not just financial but the mental aspect, di ba? Which brings me back to another topic, no? Which is the forced savings. Yes, Cheesy, hello, contact manager. Oops, nawala. Hey, Rina, LOI na, hello. Forced savings, you know, I want to also share sa mga younger people here. There, contact manager Maymoon Choi here on Facebook if you're in need of crypto trading lectures and all. Yes, Cheesy, thank you for sharing your ano. If people need help, just message Cheesy about cryptocurrency and trading. Let me share with you sa mga younger people about forced savings. This is very powerful. This is about money, but it's really about our personal mental. I want to encourage all the younger people out there to put yourself in a situation wherein you're forced to save. Meaning, may binibili kang kotse or may binibili kang hulug-hulugan or may binabayaran kang VUL sa Sun Life, di ba, Rina? So, iba kasi ang may forced savings in. Talagang you are forced to save and be more tight with your money. Alam mo, tao lang din talaga tayo. Pag wala tayong forced savings, tapos medyo may excess money tayo, maghahanap tayo ng paggagastusan. And I tell you, for those who are young here, you're watching in the recording, we're gonna talk about forced savings also in the 10-week workshop. So, napakagandang concept. Okay, last question, then I will play the video, then we'll continue with your questions. Is it okay to flip the property while still loan at the bank? Wow, that's a very good question. Okay. First is definitely. Okay. Financially, is it good? Yes, it is good because your cash out is low, your exposure is low. If the property is good or bad, we do not know. Di ba? If the property has a market, we do not know. If the property is at a good price, we do not know. Diba? But if it's with the bank and the bank allows you, kunwari it's a foreclosure by the bank to take over, then definitely it's a low exposure strategy. I personally would do that. I personally would always want to use the bank as a strategic way to finance a property. You know, kasi pag, yun nga the old school way of saving money. Kunyari, your property is 10 million, 5 million. Pag iipunin mo yung 5 million, 10 million, baka by the time na dumating yung pera mo, 8 million na yung property. Diba? But if you're using installment, using 5 million, kunyari wala ka pang 5 million, pero kang 1 million, 2 million. But you know naman na every month kaya mong ipunin yun. Then it's good to lock in the price na now. It's good to bank loan, kahit may interest, or it's good to buy installment para malak na yung price. Diba? But guys, of course, I'm not convincing you to buy property. I'm just in a position wherein there's so many strategies out there na may miss out ng regular folks because they are afraid of debt. They don't know how to use the bank. They don't know how to analyze property. That's why really learning is educating yourself is a good first step. So guys, we're gonna watch the video. It's like a 3-minute video. And then feel free to comment in the chat box about this video. It's a property case study na ginawa namin noong 2010 yata, 2012, somewhere there. This is just to encourage you on how to think strategically about property. And in the 10-week workshop, we will be, almost every week merong ganung case study. Let me share with you the video. Dapat may music to. Please tell me pag walang music. All right. So what do you think about the video that you watched? Can you go to the comment box and say something? Did you enjoy it? Is it a wow? Or are you getting ideas? Feel free to go to the comment box now. So, okay, we're almost done with our kapihan session, Q&A. So let me share one last time, no? We have various case studies in the 10-week workshop. Just go to bit.ly/CDY workshop. And this is just a run through of the sessions. No? So for the 10 weeks, we're going to talk about session number one is all about the foundation. We're going to set the mindset of property. Diba? Marami kasing mga wrong mindset out there na i-correct natin. Number two will be all about buying, what things to consider, how do you analyze a property, all about buying, because that's where you make the mistake. Number one, if you don't buy, then wala talaga. You don't join the bet. You don't join the bandwagon. Diba? Sabi nga nila, diba? Sir Carl, ba't ka bumibili ng lotto ticket? Maliit ang chance mo manalo. Pero ako naman, sabi ko, okay lang. I don't mind falling in line to buy a lotto ticket because that increase my chance. Bale mo, you'll never know because I have a ticket. But if I don't buy, siguradong wala akong chance, di ba? So number 2 is in the buying, you have to learn how to buy because that's where the mistake happens. Yes, week number 3 is all about renovation, about how to make your unit good. Week number 4 is all about renting. We're going to talk about Airbnb also during this time. Week number 5 is all about financing, the bank, leveraging, using other people's money, utang, percentage, loan, 10 years ba, 5 years, 15 years, how to manage your risk. And then week number 6 is how to sell it out into the market, how to flip. Week number 7, we're going to talk about flipping, how to buy it, what's a good return. And then also about build and sell. We have case studies on week number 8. And then we're going to talk about computation on week number 9, mga returns, ganon, Excel, how to make your Excel monitoring. And lastly, week number 10 is graduation and summary on questions and execution time. All right, so thank you, Rina, for your kind words and staying with us. It looks like we are almost done with our question and answer. Ano ba bang pwede kong question para sa mga accounting students natin? Okay, sige, this is my last question habang wala na tao sa comment box. My last question, last concern is what if I cannot afford it anymore? What to do? Okay. Marami rin tayong mga kaibigan dyan na na-affect yung income nila. They are local or they are overseas based. Here's my advice. Your goal in life, if you are burdened right now, if you're burdened, meaning meron kang buhat-buhat na knapsack at yung knapsack mo ay punong-puno ng bato na hindi ka na makagalaw, hindi ka na happy, whenever you're with your family, ang dami mong iniisip. Kasi nga, meron kang mga installments na babayaran. This is my advice. This is my advice to you. You have to lighten your knapsack. You have to lighten your burden. Diba? How do you lighten your burden? Let go of some of the burdens. So kunwari, you have a property na parang, uy, itong property na to, ang bigat-bigat na niya. Pag ni-let go ko, gagaang yung mundo ko kasi wala na akong monthly obligation. Then it's okay to let go. Alright? Para ma-lighten yung load mo. Because what's more important for me is you can now move on forward na confident at peace. You can now be with your family, with your kids. Na hindi palagi iniisip mo yung nalulugi mong property. Diba? So if you're in that situation, this is me, your big brother talking na analyze your value at risk. Analyze, meaning, magkano mawawala sa'yo na pera na naipasok? Is it 1 million, 2 million? And then you imagine in your mind, if you let go of this 2 million, what is life for you? Diba? Of course, we have to admit na, Sir Carl naman, para ka nagsasayang ng pera. Tinatapon mo yung money na wala na. Sayang. I think it depends on how you value things. Is the money more sayang versus you who is mentally burdened every day, stressed because of this one? And coming from experience, I've lost some money before. I've cut loss. May mga money tayong ni-let go na wala kasi it was a wrong decision. We let go, we move along. Makakabawi ka naman 'di ba? But if you don't let go, mas malaking effect on your life 'di ba? So that's my advice sa mga burdened right now. Let go of it. Kung talagang wala ka ng way out. By the way, I have a private coaching. It's quite it's a bit of a price. It's 10,000 per hour. But if you're in the situation na talagang gulong-gulo ka na and you need guidance and you really want a personal advice, go to my private coaching and sign up. Lahat ng na coach ko for 1 hour. Bawing-bawi yung binayad nila, either through learning or through a different perspective. So yun yung ma-advise ko if you're burdened right now. Try to analyze, try to explore the option of cutting loss and letting go, and your life will be back intact. Last question before we go. Sir Carl, do you agree with this? Let me type that down. Never invest money you cannot afford to lose. You know, Rungaw, this is a wonderful, wonderful quotation. Never invest money you cannot afford to lose. Meaning, pag bumili ka ng cryptocurrency kasi nakinig ka sa isang friend mo, diba? Or nag-invest ka dito sa negosyo, nakisosyo ka sa isang food cart na hindi mo naman alam, sinabi lang ng friend mo na maganda siya, it has to be extra money, excess money. Diba? Also in our 10-week workshop, we're gonna talk about this. They call it the money jars. Your money has to go to different jars, maybe 5 jars. Number 1 would be your daily expense, your monthly expense. Ito non-negotiable tong jar na to. Ito yung every month I need 50,000 minimum to sustain my family. I need 80,000, 100,000 to sustain my family. That's your living expense jar. Number 2, pasok mo na dun lahat sa living expense. Yung rental mo, lahat ng mga hulug-hulugan mo, lahat. That's your minimum monthly hurdle. Number 2 will be your luxury or leisure fund, leisure jar. Yung tipong pang eat out, pang grab food. Diba? Kung may sobra dun sa living expense, dun ka palang pwede mag-grab food. Dun ka palang pwede mag-order in, pag magpa-party, pag may extra. And then number 3 will be, syempre, of course, you cover for your life risk, which is your insurances, diba? Yung insurance mo. And number 4 will be savings. Kasi you emergency money, you wanna also prepare for, meron kang cash for emergency. Actually, I mean, people can now relate better now kasi before the pandemic, mas carefree tayo. Kala natin, hindi mangyayari to. Tuloy-tuloy. The well will always have water. But because of the pandemic, now we have experienced what it's really like to use our emergency fund. And then, pag may sobra from all those 4 jars, dun pa lang yung investable money. Diba? Dun ka pa lang mag-i-invest sa mga bagay na hindi mo alam. Like the trading, the cryptocurrency, the properties, and all. So yes, definitely, when you invest in something na you're not familiar with, di ba? Be ready na pwedeng mawala yun. And if nawala yun, you should not, you'll be sad, di ba? Siyempre nakakalungkot naman talaga mawalan, but part na ng strategy mo yun, na ouch, ang sakit, ay nako, yung invest ko na ganun, na nagsarado, aray ko. So on that note, thank you very much for keeping me company tonight, and I really appreciate all your questions, diba? Kila Jimlyn, kila sino ba yung mga very active tonight? Rungaw, Rex, salamat. Your questions kept this conversation going. So, on that note, I wish you all good night. If you enjoyed this session, please just go to the comment box and say good night, Carl. Thank you. I learned a lot tonight. Any encouraging words? And that's about it for tonight. Yun lang. Thank you very much. And I'll end on this quote na never invest money you cannot afford to lose. And I hope to see some of you in the 10-week workshop starting August 14. Thank you very much. And Sean, back to you. Thank you, Divina.